Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another Screw Toy action figure review, and today we're going to be reviewing the Marvel Legends Zabu Build-A-Figure Wave, and I'm very excited to review this figure for you guys. Out of all these figures, I'm not excited for all of them, but I did really want the Zabu Build-A-Figure, so that's why I picked up the whole wave. I did find this wave at my local Macy's, and out of all the stores that got them, yeah, Macy's was the first ones to get them. I know a couple people have gotten their pre-orders shipped out from Amazon, and I believe some from Big Bad Toy Store, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, some figures here are more exciting than the others. Some I didn't really want. I just picked up for the Build-A-Figure piece. But yeah, I do have the whole wave here, so I decided to review the whole thing for y'all. Now I wanted to go over the packaging. They're all pretty much similar, so I'm only going to go over one of them. They have the Marvel logos up here, and that goes for every single one of these figures in the wave. They don't have the X-Men logo, they don't have the Thor logo, they all just have the Marvel logo. Right here you get another Marvel logo, Superior Iron Man, the name of the character, a big window, the Legend Series logo right there, the name of the Build-A-Figure wave right there, the price tag. On the side you get a very nice image of the character, another image of the character at the back, a read-up, and the rest of the wave down here, and the Build-A-Figure and the numbers that correspond with which piece comes with what character. On the bottom you get a barcode, and that's it, man. They are pretty much similar. So yeah, let's start with my least favorite of the wave, and that is gonna be Thor. And here we have Black Winter Thor and all the accessories that he does come with. He does come with the typical Mjolnir that we see with most of the Thor figures right here. This time around it's casted in all black. I know it's hard to see because of my background, but here we go. So you can see it's just an all black Mjolnir and some black plastic. It does come with this smoke effect that slides in into the hammer pretty easily. As I say that, I'm struggling to put it in. There we go. But the only thing is, taking this smoke effect off is a hassle. The best way I found to take it off is by pushing it from the end out instead of yanking it out. Because, you know, I don't know, it just made it easier doing it like that. But here's the smoke effect, pretty cool. And then he does come with two other hands other than the fist that come on the figure, a Mjolnir wielding hand and a wide opened hand. And getting a quick look at this Thor, nothing too crazy about this figure, man. It is the Fortnite Thor that we saw, what wave was that? A few waves back. Was it the Puff Adder wave? No, it wasn't the Puff Adder wave. Can't remember what wave it was, but it was the Fortnite Thor or the Herald of Galactus Thor. And this time around is just painted in a blue and black scheme. So yeah, nothing too crazy. We do get a new head sculpt that does look really dope. It's a lot of hair blowing in the wind, and it's pretty translucent, as you can see some of that light kind of going through the hair. The cape is also translucent and pretty tattered. So yeah, nothing too crazy. If you have that Herald of Galactus Thor, then you should be pretty familiar with this figure. But yeah, man, just getting a close-up look. Looks pretty nice. I really like the metallic sheen to that plastic right there. Get the lights in just a little bit closer. There we go. You can see the sheen a lot better there. And then on the thighs and the legs. So yeah, nothing too crazy. Again, we've seen this figure, just a repaint of an old figure with a new head sculpt and cape. Now getting a quick look at his articulation. His head is on a dumbbell hinge, so he can look up, not much because that hair kind of gets in the way. He can look down quite a bit, but then it looks awkward with the hair still blowing in the wind. So I wish they would have given him a neutral hair, not a blown in the wind hair. His shoulders are on hinges, and these shoulder pads are looped around the hinge right there and the peg, so it'll travel wherever the arm goes. So he can hit a T-pose fairly easy. Rotation at the bicep, single jointed elbow that hits about 90, and then all the wrist hinge up and down and swivel full 360, except for the Mjolnir wielding hand has a vertical hinge. And then he does have a diaphragm cut right there that pivots this much to this side, this much to this side, this much forward, that much back, and then it does rotate a full 360. No waist cut or anything. And then he does have upper thigh cuts, double pinless knees that actually he does have pins on his knees. So yeah, bit odd there since this is a brand new body mode. Never noticed that. But yeah, he can get a pretty good bend at that knee. Then, does he have boot cut? No, he doesn't. He does have ankle hinges that hinge this much forward and that much back, and he does have ankle pivot and a peg hole at the bottom of his foot. Now getting a quick look at Superior Iron Man. While he is one of my favorite versions of Iron Man, and I really did like the storyline that he came from, I do not like this figure whatsoever. It is supposed to be a metallic chrome armor, and this time around, for some reason, the Marvel Legends team decided to go with a white pearlescent plastic, and I'm just not a fan of it, man. It doesn't really look accurate to the comic. I get what they were going for. The armor, when it is, reflecting light, it does look white, but they should have just gone with a silver. I think they cheaped out and didn't want to use that chrome silver paint and gave us a pearlescent white plastic. So while it's not a bad figure, it is a pretty solid figure. It's mostly, I think it's mostly new parts. The paint job just really kills this figure. He does come with 2 sets of hands. The first one's being these repulsor blasting hands, and they do have a hinge this time around. So happy that they brought back the hinges on the repulsor blasting hands. And then we get a pair of fists, typical Iron Man fists, so nothing too crazy on them. So those are nice. You get the same blast effects we've seen with all these Iron Mans for the last, 12, 15 years. So nothing crazy there. And then we get the unmasked Tony Stark head sculpt with the whited out eyes, which I'm pretty sure this is how I'm going to have him displayed because, this is just iconic to this armor. So I really do love that. Getting a quick look at the armor. Again, it is a pearlescent white. And while I think it looks dope, man, it's just not accurate to the source. So yeah, that's what's really disappointing about this figure. You get these nice little blue highlights around the little circle right there. The helmet lining, the eyes, the arms, the chest. You get some nice little baby blue highlights right there on the legs, on the hips. You get these really nice black bordered lines. The inside of the thighs as well. You do have pins on the legs, so I think these are reused actually from Mark 50 or 85. I think it's from Mark 50 Iron Man. That's what these legs look like. So, you do get some reuse. On the back, you get some nice details and some paint. So they didn't compound on the paint on the back. It does look nice. But overall, man, just a disappointing figure. Again, I'm not going to have him displayed with this head sculpt. I am going to have him displayed with... Oh, that's a tight fit. Let me try to pop it off. There we go. This is how I'm going to have him displayed, because this is how I remember seeing him in the comics. Is with this half-mast head with the hair sticking out on top. Kind of looks like Gambit a bit right there. And okay figure, just execution wasn't completely done correctly. So let's get a quick look at the articulation. His head is on a separate neck piece that plugs into the body, and then a hinge that plugs into the head. So with that, you can get all the way up. Actually, he can look up a decent amount, and then he can look down an okay amount. So that hinge doesn't really do much. So I don't know why they didn't just give him a ball joint or a dumbbell joint right there instead of that hinge. And then the neck piece that connects into the body is pretty sturdy, so I don't think that's moving anywhere. So it doesn't really get any movement out of it. You don't get really any head pivoting, so that's a little unfortunate. Arms are on hinges that hinge all the way up, so you can hit a T-pose fairly easy. Upper bicep swivel, double pinless elbows that bend in a great amount. All the hands hinge up and down and swivel a full 360. He does have a diaphragm cut right there. It goes this much to this side, that much back, a little bit forward, and then it rotates a full 360 if you would like. He does have those drop down hips. Kind of. I think it's just gummy actually, so I don't think those are real drop down hips. Yeah, those aren't drop down hips, they're just gummy. He does have an upper thigh cut, double pinned knees. I think these are again 85 or Mark 50 Iron Man from the MCU, and they don't get no more than just 90 degrees. He can kick out to the side about that much, so that is pretty decent. This much forward, not much back. And then he does have a ankle pivot, but it kind of runs in the way of this little cuff right there, which I think was a problem with Mark 50. So I think this is where these legs came from. So yeah, no real ankle pivot. This much forward, that much back, and he does have peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Now getting a quick look at Red Widow and all the accessories that she does come with. She does come with a pair of gripping hands that comes straight out of the packaging on the body. And then she also does come with a bow staff knife thing. I'm not sure what to call this. So yeah, if you guys know what this is called, let me know down in the comments below. But it's done really well. Red plastic and some nice silver paint right there. Some nice gunmetal silver. So that looks really dope. And then we get a single fist and a single weird open gesture hand. So don't know why they didn't just give us a full set of fists. I don't know. So not a fan of this. I wish they would have gave us a full set of fists and a full set of open hands, or at least just a set of fists, man. I don't know why they just gave us one single fist, but yeah, it is what it is. Moving these accessories aside and getting a look at Red Widow. While I'm not really familiar with the character, that's why she is pretty low on my list of my favorite characters of this wave. She's still a pretty dope looking figure, man. I really, really love this vibrant red that they used on this figure. I think this is the red that they need to use on Spider-Man's. And then the black really just stands out against that bright red. So yeah, I really do like it quite a bit. This cape is a little restricting. It's going to hinder the articulation quite a bit. It is removable if you pop off the head. Let me do it behind the camera real quick. You can remove it, and then you get the blank body, which I think this is the Shriek body mode, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it is removable, but it's not Red Widow without her cloak. And yeah, getting a quick look at the head sculpt. She does come with a face shield right there. Get it to focus. Focus right there. Reminds me kind of like Scorpion, like a Scorpion Mortal Kombat mask. So that does look dope. And then she does have the black under the face, and then the white eyes. It really kind of just pierce through that hood. And then the rest of the figure is pretty simple, man. You get the red cloak, this little nice shoulder wrinkle right there. I think that was pretty dope. The little fold right there. And then you get a pretty much red body with some black paint. You get the little Widow logos right there on the hands, on the lower pelvic area right there. And then the rest of the figure is pretty simple. So yeah, man, not too much going on with this figure. Weird thing that I did notice, she does have a knife sheath with no knife, and she comes with no knife to put the sheath in. So it is a solid piece of plastic, so even if you had a knife, you couldn't sheath that in that little thing. So yeah, just a little odd thing that I noticed. But yeah, some straps that don't really hold anything, or don't, yeah, I don't know what these straps are for, to be honest. I think it's more of just a aesthetic thing. But getting a quick look at the articulation, again, this cloak thing is going to be very restricting, but if you do have the Shriek body mode, or figures that do have that body mode, then you should be fairly familiar with this body. So it doesn't look up much because of the hood and the cloak. It does look down a little bit. You get some side to side, so that is nice. No real head pivoting. The shoulders do move up, but again, it's going to be restricted by the cloak. She does have upper bicep swivel, double pinless arms that bend in more than 90, but again, restricted by the cloak. Upper diaphragm cut that pivots a lot to the sides. Good amount forward, good amount back, but then the cloak restricts it. She does have upper thigh cuts. She can kick this much forward, so not too bad. And this much to the side, so not too bad at all either. She does have, again, upper thigh cuts, double pinless knees, but then they're going to be restricted again by the cloak. And then she does have foot hinges that hinge this much up, this much back, and she does have pecos at the bottom of the feet. Now getting a quick look at Icarus. This is one of the figures that I wasn't too excited about, but once I got it in hand, I was like, man, this is a dope figure. And I think it's just my love for cosmic characters. So yeah, this figure, man, is pretty dope. He has actually a lot of new sculpt, a lot more newer parts than I expected. The upper arms and the upper legs are the Vulcan body, but the upper torso is retooled to be a new torso, as he does have a lot of unique sculpt to it. And then the forearms, again, we know that the Vulcan kind of splits at the mid forearm to kind of give it, like, you know, unique gloves and stuff. And then of course we get a new head sculpt. And getting a look at that, actually getting a look at the accessories before we look at the figure, he does come with only a set of fists and a set of opened relaxed hands. So these are pretty dope, and they do have this little nice rivet texture right there that is sculpted onto the figure. This one's more relaxed, this one's more kind of like a reaching, grabbing pose. So yeah, nice set of hands right there. Moving those to the side, getting a look at the figure itself. it's a good looking figure, man. I really like the sculpt right there. Very 80s and 70s looking character from a comic. Even the hair has a nice wash to it. I don't know how well it's coming on in the camera. You get a nice brown wash over that blonde plastic or yellow plastic. The lips look good. The eyes look good. The eyebrows look nicely done. I think he even has some pink tones to that skin. So yeah, it's not a complete flat white skin. Moving down to the collarbone, you see that his collarbone and upper shoulders are exposed. And then you get these very nice discs that remind me of Thor right there. Very nice gold paint. The black paint's nicely done. The maroonish reddish color is done nicely as well. You get more of a matte flat color here on the little loincloth and the gloves. And then his legs are pretty simple, just blue Vulcan legs with the riveted boots right there in that same maroon color. So yeah, man, not much to this figure, but he's pretty dope. I don't know why I like it so much. It's just the design looks dope, and he's going to look pretty awesome next to my other cosmic characters on the shelf. Now getting a quick look at articulation. His head is on a ball and hinge, so he can look up just a little bit because that hair kind of gets in the way. And he can look down. Ooh. It's pretty tight ball drum right there. So you can look down actually quite a bit, so that is pretty decent. No real head pivoting right there. Arms are on hinges that go all the way up so he can hit a T-pose. He does have a upper bicep swivel, double pinless elbows, as these are the Vulcan arms. And then I don't know if he has no rotation at that forearm. I think those are glued. And then his hands hinge up and down and swivel for 360, and that is for all sets of hands. Ab crunch, which yeah, you guys know if you watch my channel, I'm not a fan of ab crunches. I rather do the diaphragm cut with the reverse ab crunch at the bottom. So yeah, upper ab crunches, not a big fan of. And he does have a waist swivel, but it is hidden by that loincloth. And I hate waist swivels. You guys know that I think waist swivels are completely outdated. So yeah, they should retool that upper torso for the Vulcan body to completely get rid of that. He does have upper thigh cuts. He can kick to the side about that much. It's kind of a little restricting with that loincloth. I keep calling it a loincloth, but I think it's more like a skirt piece. He can kick a little bit forward, as he does have a little bit of slits right there. Again, upper thigh cut, double pinless knees that bend in a great amount. He does have a boot cut, hinges at the feet that hinges this much forward, that much back, pegals at the bottom. And yeah, pretty great articulation from this figure. And yeah, one of my most surprised seen figures of the wave. And here we have a fan favorite from the wave. We have Wolfsbane. And I wasn't necessarily too excited about this figure, but I am happy to have it. And it's a really, really well done figure. So it is in my top 3 of this wave. And yeah, just getting a quick look at her accessories. She does come with clawing hands. Obviously, you can't have Wolfsbane without clawing hands. And then we get a pair of fist with some nice sculpted details. You get some fur. Now I don't know if these are the same hands that came with Tigra, but yeah, they are nicely done. I think this is an all brand new sculpt. I do not have the Tigra figure anymore to compare it with, so I wish I would have kept that figure, but I sold it off a while back. I do plan on picking it up here soon just to have in the collection again. But getting a quick look at Wolfsbane, there's not much to her, but there is a lot of nice detail throughout the whole figure. The mane is done in a really, really well highlighted plastic. So you get the brown plastic, and then you get a very subtle shading throughout it that it's not too overpowering or like too noticeable. Kind of like Icarus over there. It stood out. It popped out, and this is more just subtle. So yeah, nice little highlights throughout the hair. Very reminiscent of Wolverine's hair. The face sculpt is nicely done as well. You get a nice menacing growling face right there. Wish it would have came with a different head sculpt with a little bit more neutral, calm face. But that face printing technology, man, just keeps getting better and better every time. She does have her X-Men uniform right there. Or her X-Force, X-Factor, whatever you want to call it. She does have the little X logo right there. The zipper is painted on there. So that's rare to see, but it is done. Get the blue shoulder pads, silver paint on the buckles. Again, rare to see, but they did it. And then the rest of the body does have fur sculpted throughout it. You even get a tuft of hair right there. And the only hair that's actually painted is the one right there, the little tuft that sticks out. None of this is painted. A wash would have really brought out those sculpted details. Same thing on the legs. The tuft right here is painted, but not the rest of the legs. And looking at the back, not much there. So you can see the tuft right there on the legs is painted, but the rest of it is not. The feet look nice, and then the bottom do not have peg holes. Now getting a quick look at her articulation. Her head is on a ball and hinge, so she can look up quite a bit, and she can look down a little bit. She does have head pivoting, ball jointed elbows that move up a great amount, so she can hit a nice T-pose. Upper bicep swivels. I'm sorry, my camera had cut out for a second. She does come with double jointed elbows that are pinless. I believe these are all brand new arms, as the sculpt, has fur on it. Upper diaphragm cut that pivots just a little bit to the side, nothing too crazy. None forward, a lot further back. So I might go in there and Dremel just to get a little bit more arch forward. She does have upper thigh cuts. She can kick this much to the front. Not much to the back, a lot further out. Double pinless knees that bend in just about a decent amount, but it doesn't go all the way back because of that tough fur back there. She does have hinges at the feet that hinge this much forward, a lot further back. And she does have ankle pivot and no peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Now my second favorite figure from the wave is going to be the one and only Kazar, the accompanying figure to the Build-A figure in this wave. And he's a pretty dope figure, man. He does come with two of these open palmed hands, kind of like a clawing gesture type hands. He comes with a set of gripping hands, which these have been a big talk and controversy, as they are trigger finger hands, and the accessories that it comes with that he's supposed to hold with these hands are very loose. So it's been said that Marvel Legends team needs to start doing a set of gripping hands, not trigger finger hands, when it comes to figures that need to hold their accessories. He also does come with a set of fists right here. Where's the other fist? Right over here. So these are nice. And then the weapons, he gets a very nice spear right there that looks like it was made by stone. A nice little rope. And then the rest of the stick right here is done nicely. You get some sculpted details, but it's very, very minor. You can hardly tell. And it's nice to get a new one. We usually get the same one that comes with Kraven the Hunter, Black Panther. We've seen it with a couple other figures, and it usually has little feathers right there. So it's nice to get a new spear for the Marvel Legends line. And then you get a nice little dagger. Yeah, so you get a very nice metallic, or actually it's more of a gray plastic. So that metallic silver that was done on, who had a knife with metallic silver? I can't remember. Somebody in this wave had metallic weapons. That paint should have been applied here too. You do get a gold handle with some paint, so at least it's painted gold there. So this is nice. And then getting a look at the figure itself, it's nicely done, man. I think they executed this figure quite well. It is on the Vulcan body mold, and nothing too crazy. It's a blank body with a lined cloth, some boots, and a new head sculpt. So getting a look at that head sculpt, it's nicely done. Some controversy with this head. They're saying that some of the new sculptors at the Marvel Legends team are doing the same face over and over again. They said that Steve Rogers looks the same as this one, the 20th anniversary Steve Rogers, the Hank Pym, I think they were saying that Icarus from this wave has a similar head sculpt. Bringing him in real quick. I see it a little bit, not so much here. I do agree that it does look like the Steve Rogers unmasked head sculpt from the 20th anniversary, and even the Hank Pym head, which I do have. I should probably bring out, but I'm being too lazy. But yeah, the head sculpt does look nice though. I really do like it. I love that the hair is kind of tucked in behind his ear right there on that side, and then kind of blown in the wind on this side. You get a nice heavy wash of brown over that yellow plastic, so that does look good. And then the rest of the body is just blank, man. Another big controversy with this figure is the seam lines on the forearms. And they're saying that the Marvel Legends team should engineer some new lower arms to kind of get rid of that seam line, as it does not, need a seam line for blank body figures like this. You get a nice loincloth, which is a brown plastic with some gray highlights in those crevices. You get some brown right there. And then he does have a little holder for his dagger, which I'm probably going to have him hold like that. How do you put it? Like that. So that is nice. Then the boots are similar to the loincloth up there. You get the fur around the boots. And then you get some very nice textured boots that kind of look like leather, like worn leather. So yeah, man, pretty simple figure, but he's just a figure that we've needed in the Marvel Legends line for a very long time. We've had him in a box set previously, and you know that figure's severely outdated. So it was time for a new Khazar, and this one does a pretty good job, man. Articulation, it's a plain Vulcan body, so hinge at the top of the neck. You can look up, not much because of that hair. He does look a lot further down. No head pivoting, so none out of there. He does have a ball joint at the shoulder with a hinge that goes up to a pretty decent amount, so he can hit a wide pose. Upper bicep swivel, double pinless elbows that bend in a great amount. And then he does have a butterfly joint that shifts all the way back and a good amount forward, so he can kind of cross his body a bit. Again, upper bicep swivel, double pinless elbows, hinges at the hand that hinge up and down, and rotate a full 360. One of the trigger finger hands, I think for his right hand, has a vertical hinge. And then he does have a ab crunch. Again, I hate ab crunches. I wish it was a diaphragm cut. So you can crunch this much forward, that much back. Gets really gappy right there. And then he does have a waist swivel underneath that loincloth. He can kick this much forward, this much to the side. Upper thigh cuts, double pinless knees that bend in a great amount. It can easily kick his own ass. Boot cut, and then a hinge at the foot that hinges all the way forward, all the way back. Ankle pivot and pegals at the bottom of the feet. And of course, my favorite figure from the wave is the one and only Cable, wearing his X-Men uniform, or as this is probably going to be dubbed, the Marvel vs. Capcom Cable, as this is what he wears in that video game. It's a beautiful figure, man. Some controversy with this figure, yes. They say that the blue does not match the Cyclops or Jean Grey or any of the other X-Men's wearing this uniform. And yeah, that does suck that this is a way lighter blue than those figures. But it's still a nice figure, man. It's very accurate to what we see in the Marvel vs. Capcom game. Now, getting a quick look at accessories, he does come with a open clawing hand, one fist, and two trigger finger hands. So those are nice. I wish we would have got a full set of fists. I wish we would have got a full set of all these hands, but fortunately that's not the case. We get some futuristic guns. I think we've seen before. We get this very nice pistol type of revolver. Yeah, it looks like a revolver, futuristic revolver, and a sawed-off shotgun right there, futuristic shotgun. So those are nice. And moving those to the side and getting a look at Cable himself. He's a great looking figure, man. That head sculpt is what really makes this figure. I've seen a lot of people just buy this figure to plop it on to that classic 90s have I been calling him Cyclops? Cable. So yeah, to that 90s Cable. So they've been buying this head sculpt just to plop it on there. And it's very, very nicely done. That face printing technology is just absolutely amazing. The 5 o'clock shadow looks great. The eye looks amazing. He actually has a pupil in there. It's very, very hard to see, but he actually does have a pupil, a bluish, whitish pupil. The scar on his eye looks really, really nice. This glowing effect is done really well as well. The translucent plastic really just adds more to it. And then the hair is all white with no highlights, so that is unfortunate. Some blue highlights in there would have been nice. Some gray highlights, something would have been nice. If there is, it's very, very subtle and I can't see it. And then the rest of the body, man, I'm not sure what body this is. I believe this is a brand new arm, as it is pinless right there. But it does have pinned arms on this side. And I cannot remember whose arm this is. It looks familiar. No, it's not Tombstones. It's either the Grim Reaper. I can't remember whose arm this is, man. But it looks familiar. But yeah, pretty great figure, man. You know, nice blue. The reds and the blacks are nicely applied. The decal's clean and crisp. Some nice wash or paints would have went a long way, even on the little buttons right there, to kind of bring out all that sculpted detail. Especially because Gabe was a grimy guy. He's always getting dirty, and he's not scared to, get into explosions and shit. So some dirt on these would have been nice. It's just too clean for Cable, in my opinion. But overall, pretty solid figure, man. Nothing too crazy. I really do love the metallic silver on that bionic arm. Again, I think it is all brand new, as it is pinless. One thing that it is funny is that he's wearing a glove on that arm, so not sure why he needed a glove for his bionic arm. I guess just to not offset the other side. But overall, man, pretty solid figure. Let's get a quick look at this guy's articulation. His head is on a ball and hinge, so he can look up. Oh, without popping the head off. Wow, there we go. He can look all the way up, all the way down. He can not pivot, but he can look side to side and rotate a full 360. Arms are on ball and hinge, so he can hit a very nice T-pose. Upper bicep swivel, double pinned elbows that hit just a little past 90. And then all the hands hinge up and down and rotate a full 360, except for the trigger finger hands. Those have a vertical hinge. And then this arm does have a upper bicep swivel, pinless double joints right there. He does have an ab crunch that goes this much forward, that much back, waist cut. And one thing they did with the torso is they sculpted the straps to the actual torso to go inside the joint. I don't know how you can see it in there. And these little flaps are supposed to act as a continuation of those straps onto the belt, but they're a separate piece. I don't know how I feel about that, because I didn't really notice them until I got up close. But now that I've noticed it, it's done like that. I notice it, so it kind of bothers me a bit. Nothing too bad, but yeah, just a weird way they decided to do that. But hey, it works. Again, he does have a waist cut, but it is hidden by that belt nicely. He does have a foot that kicks this much forward, so not much. This much to the side, not much. Upper thigh cuts that are hidden by the little pouches around his thighs. Double pinless knees that bend in a great amount. He does have boot cut right there. And then his foot hinges this much forward, that much back, and he does have pegals at the bottom of the feet. And here we have Zabu all built and put together. And he's a great Build-A-Figure, man. He is a lot bigger than I expected him to be. He's very, very hefty. He feels solid, doesn't feel hollow, doesn't feel like cheap plastic. And some very nice deco throughout the whole thing. They didn't skimp out on this Build-A-Figure whatsoever. It feels like lately that Marvel Legends is kind of moving away from Build-A-Figures. So it's nice to put together a figure after opening up a whole wave. We've been getting a lot of retro cards, a lot of single carded figures. And yeah. Just feel like the death of Marvel Legends Build-A-Figures is coming to very, very near future. So, yeah, pretty solid Build-A-Figure overall, man. Getting a quick look at him, the head sculpt is done very, very nicely. The green eyes pierce very menacingly. So, love that they did the solid green eyes with the black dot, and they even have painted eyelids. So, very crisp and clean right there. I love that you can see the gums right there, with the big solid saber tooth teeth opening his mouth. You could see the pink tongue and all the little teeth in there painted as well. So that's nicely done. You get some very nice darker orange throughout the whole figure. Not throughout the whole figure, but you get it like on the cheeks right there. You get it around the neck area. Some right here around the lower points where they would cast a shadow. The back of the legs. Back of the thighs right there. Some white on the underbelly, so that is nice right there. Get some black on the paws and claws. So yeah, man, pretty solid figure. A lot of sculpted detail everywhere you see this figure. It's gonna have sculpted fur, so yeah. And again, he is a big, hefty guy. If I bring in, where is he? Kazar. You can see that. Oh, okay, over there. Okay, we'll get out of the shot. Bringing in Kazar. Yeah, man, you can see that he goes up to his waist, and if he's standing on his hind legs, I mean, he towers over. He's not even in frame no more. Towers over him. So this is a Build-A-Figure size figure. It's just, he's standing on all fours, so he doesn't look as big. But if you stand him on his hind legs, he's a pretty big, hefty figure. So yeah, man. Again, he feels very, very solid. Like he's heavy. He's very, very heavy. And yeah, pretty solid figure overall, man. I love that the Marvel Legends is doing animal figures now. Hopefully, we get some more animal-based characters in the future. I know that the G.I. Joe teams does a whole bunch of animals, so maybe that was an inspiration for the Marvel Legends team. But yeah, getting a quick look at his articulation, we've seen that his jaw is articulated, so opens and closes very seamlessly. Unless you look at it from the bottom, you can see that big gap right there. He does have a rotation at the head, so a ball joint that comes out of the head or out of the neck into the head, and swivel side to side, up and down. And then he does have a different hinge right here at the neck area. So swivels and no real up and down. So you just get the swivel out of that. Some side to side would have been nice, and some up and down would have been nice. But no, just swivel. He does have a mid diaphragm cut right there. So he pivots to the sides like that. Forward, back a little bit, and rotates a full 360 if you would like. Arms and legs, or I don't know what you would call these, just all legs, have a ball joint right there at the shoulder and hind hips, so you can go forward, back, out, and single hinge at the mid leg right there, forward leg. So hinge and swivel, so that it's nice, and then hinge and swivel at the paw too. And then you get the mid cut right there on the knee, and then the back leg is similar to the front, so up and down, side to side, same thing as the forward. But you get the mid knee joint right there, and then you get an additional joint right there at the lower ankle area. And I don't know, I wouldn't call that lower ankle, but you get a hinge here, here, and rotation, and then you get ankle pivot right there. So forward, back, and ankle pivot. So nice articulation in the tail. Also has a hinge and rotates a full 360 if you would like. So pretty articulated figure, man, for being an animal figure. He's pretty well articulated. So yeah, pretty solid overall Build-A-Figure. And here we have the full Zabu Build-A-Figure wave. And it's a pretty solid wave, man. This is the first full Build-A-Figure wave for Marvel Legends that I bought in a very, very long time. Now, I have bought full waves like the Marvel... Actually, I didn't even buy the whole Marvel Legends Spider-Man retro card wave. So this is the first wave that I've bought in full in a very, very long time. So, yeah, very excited to have all these figures here in front of me, man. From least favorite to most favorite, I already did it throughout the video. But it's going to go to Thor. I just do not know the character very well. This version of Thor very well. Yeah, just have no backstory. Second, it's going to be this Iron Man. He's not accurate to the source material, man. It could have been way better if they would have gone with some silver paint on that body. And we have a lot of Iron Man figures. We even have a full wave of Iron Man figures coming out soon. Next, it's going to be the Red Widow. My knowledge of this character is very, very little, so that does go to her. And then next was, I believe, Wolfsbane. And yeah, I do like it. Just not one of my... Actually, I think it was Icarus, because he is a dope looking figure, but I just don't know much of him compared to Wolfsbane. I do like my X-Men more than I do like my cosmic characters, so I went to Icarus, Wolfsbane, and I do like Wolfsbane. She's just not one of my favorite X-Men. I don't even think about like my top 30, 40, 50 X-Men. She's not there, but she is pretty dope character. And then it's going to go to Khazar, because, it is the pairing to Zabu. And obviously Cable being my favorite, because I have the most attachment to him. I remember playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 all the time as a kid. So, yeah, the most attachment I have to any figures of this wave is Cable. And I love Cable and X-Men, man. So, yeah, he's just a dope figure. And with the X-Men 97 show wrapping up and him wearing this costume at the end of the show, it's just dope seeing him, man. Dope seeing him in this costume and having a figure version of this character. So, pretty solid wave. I'm not going to do size comparisons because these figures pretty much do a good size comparisons between each other. And yeah, man, thank you for watching the video, for checking this out. I know I kind of rushed through this video. I was just trying to get it out to you as soon as possible and as short as possible, or making the video as short as possible, because full wave videos do tend to run really long, and I've been trying to do a 35-minute video, which I don't even know if I was able to get it that short or shorter than that. So we'll see here when I post this video. But yeah, thank you for checking this video out. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Follow me on my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. The links to all those are in the description down below. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.